Welcome to this Actus Insight, all about what is a 9-box grid in talent management. So you may well have heard this term 9-box grid. How do you use it and what is it for? Well, it's often used as a tool for identifying and categorising people who've been described as talent within an organisation. Now that term can be a little bit tricky, but usually it's to do with people who are seen as having the potential to perform and they've got the potential to grow and develop within that organisation. It may therefore link to things like development, reward or succession planning. These people may be identified to take on more senior roles in the business in time. And it's most constructively used when it is linked to a structured growth plan. So what do we mean by a 9-box grid? Well, not everybody likes them because anything that has a box means that people feel like they're pigeonholed. But they do have advantages and often they're used in larger organisations. The pros of a 9-box grid is that it highlights training and development needs for people within specific boxes. Therefore, it is used for succession planning. And it can help talent retention in an organisation because it provides that career pathway and vision. If you want to know more about career pathways, look at our Actus Insight on that topic. It may also help decision making for promotions and performance management. But it does have disadvantages. People don't like being put in a box. It can be seen as subjective, with potential for bias, as the judgment for people with potential might be made by those other than the individuals themselves. That can lead to demotivation and labelling issues. It's not suitable for all roles or organisations, and it really does require follow-up development to bring real value to an organisation. Let's take a look at this 9-box grid example. So you can see on the y-axis, we've got the potential, and along the x-axis, people's performance. So as you can see here, an organisation that uses a process like this has probably got to have some form of rating system. It's probably better designed for larger organisations that have got well-established ratings and succession planning conversations in place. So if we look at the principles of this here, you can see that the top right would be seen as people with exceptional talent, with ability to be stretched. The bottom left, you would imagine they're not necessarily seen as talent at the moment because their behaviours need to be observed. They may even be underperformers, unless they're on an entry level. And in between the two areas, you've got different labels. Now, these are examples of labels. There are many different approaches to this. But what you can see is that these people potentially have similar development needs. And if we wanted to look at this in a development or a talent management context, we could see those people on the middle to the right, then maybe they need more stretch. Whereas those on the top left, they've got untapped talent. So how can we get more performance out of them? So you can see if used intelligently and with empathy, this could be a really useful organisational tool to focus on how we get the best out of people at different stages. So how can 9-box grids work best? They work best if we treat the boxes as talent pools that have aligned development needs. You want to make it fluid, a guide for development as opposed to a rigid box for life. Do ensure that multiple perspectives are included, including the individual self-perception in relation to their potential when you're evaluating performance. And some companies like to replace the term potential with aspiration or willingness to learn, which makes it less judgmental and more about people's individual choice. So I hope you found this Actus Insight informative, some food for thought. It's not suitable a 9-box grid for every organisation, but some large organisations work them really effectively. It does help if you've got the tools to make it work best, and Actus has a talent management module that can help you use that 9-box grid. So do get in touch if you'd like to know more about how to use that.